In the heart of Enugu City, where dreams dance between street vendors' songs and the glow of evening traffic, lived a young woman named Adara. She wasn't rich, but she carried a grace that money couldn't buy, the kind that shone in her smile and echoed in her kindness. Every morning, she'd open the small fashion shop she built with her sweat, greeting customers with a warmth that made even strangers feel at home. Her laughter was music, and her hands blessed with creativity. Yet what truly made Adara glow was love. The love she shared with Chike, her fiancé of 4 years. Chike was everything she ever prayed for. Handsome, ambitious, with that calm voice that could stop an argument mid-sentence. He worked in a bank, always in neatly pressed shirts, and he treated Adara like the rarest diamond. Their story was one of childhood friendship, turned to something deeper, the kind that made people whisper, "God, when?" Their wedding day drew near. Invitations were out, Asoebi fabrics chosen, and both families had held long traditional meetings filled with laughter, food, and blessings. But among the smiling faces around Adara were 2 women whose hearts hid darker things. Amaka and Ifeomo, her so-called best friends. They had walked every step of her love story, always by her side, or so she thought. But envy is a slow poison. It doesn't shout, it whispers. One night at Adara's bridal shower, the 3 women laughed as they sipped drinks, surrounded by balloons and music. Adara glowed in her white lace gown. Hey, see our bride oh, Chike will faint when he sees you. Adara giggled, "I beg, stop flattering me, Joe." But while she smiled, Ifeomo's eyes lingered too long. In her heart, she whispered, "Why her?" That night, after the party, Amaka and Ifeomo sat together, scrolling through old pictures and gossip. "Do you know Chike used to like me first?" Amaka said bitterly. Ifeomo laughed. "He chose Adaora, my sister. Forget it." Amaka frowned. "Forget? I'll make sure he sees Adara for who she really is, or at least who he thinks she is." That was how it started. Days before the wedding, Chike received a message from an unknown number. It was a screenshot of chats, photos of Adara supposedly in a secret affair with another man abroad. The messages were well crafted, fake names, fake timestamps, even voice notes made from manipulated audio. "Better open your eyes," the message read. "Your bride isn't who you think she is." Chike stared at his phone, heart pounding. He called Amaka for advice, the same person who sent the lies. She acted surprised, pretending to defend Adara weakly. My brother, I don't want to talk, but you know Adara had one complicated past before you came. I just hope she's told you everything." That night, Chike couldn't sleep. Doubt crept in like a thief. Every smile Adara had given him replayed in his mind, now twisted by suspicion. On the morning before the wedding, Adara noticed his cold tone. "Chike, what's wrong? You've been quiet." He forced a smile. "Nothing, just stress." But the love in his eyes had dimmed. The day of the wedding arrived like sunrise after a storm, bright, hopeful, filled with expectation. The church compound buzzed with life. Drummers played, guests in colorful lace and gele danced in. Photographers shouted directions. Adara stood before the mirror, dressed in a white gown so beautiful it could make angels jealous. Her mother dabbed tears from her eyes. "My daughter, God has blessed you. May your marriage be full of joy." Adara smiled, holding her mother's hands. "Amen, Mama. You have prayed for this day." Soon, the convoy of cars arrived at the church. People cheered as the bride stepped out, Adara radiant like the morning sun. Inside, the choir sang softly. The groom's seat waited at the altar. Minutes passed. then 10, then 20. Murmurs began. The best man whispered to the pastor. Chike's phone was off. Adara looked around, confused. "Where's he?" she whispered to her maid of honor. Silence spread like cold wind. Guests checked their watches. Cameras stopped clicking. Then her father walked slowly to the front, his face pale. "My daughter, Chike is not coming." Adara froze. "Not coming? What do you mean?" Someone whispered, "He left the venue. He said he can't do this." Laughter died. Music stopped. In that moment, time itself held its breath. Adara's bouquet fell from her hands. Tears blurred her vision as she turned toward the altar where her dreams now lay shattered. Outside, the sound of gossip swelled. "Ah, she must have done something. Imagine, left at the altar, Chineke." Her legs gave way, and she sank to the floor, her veil spilling like tears around her. The church doors closed behind her broken heart. That night, Enugu seemed quieter than usual. The street lights blinked faintly over potholes from an evening rain. Somewhere inside her parents' house, Adara lay on the bed, still wearing her ruined wedding gown. Mascara stained her pillow. Her phone buzzed non-stop. Calls, messages, pitying posts online. But she couldn't move. Her mother sat beside her, wiping tears. "My daughter, cry if you must, but don't let this kill you." Adara whispered, "Mama, what did I do wrong? He didn't even ask me." Outside, fireworks from another wedding exploded, cruel reminders of the joy she'd been denied. Days turned to weeks. Guests moved on. Gossip thrived. Some said she had hidden secrets. Others pitied her. The video of her collapsing at the altar went viral on TikTok and Instagram. Caption, "Bride left at the altar in Enugu. See her reaction." But in the middle of the noise, Adaora disappeared. She switched off her phones, deleted social media, and packed away her sewing machine. Grief can bury a soul, but it can also plant new seeds. Months later, Adara slowly began to heal. One morning, she woke up to the smell of rain and made herself breakfast for the first time in weeks. She took a long look in the mirror, her eyes swollen yet alive. "Adaora," she said to her reflection, "you will not die here." She sold her wedding gown online, used the money to buy cooking supplies, and started a small home catering business, Ada's Kitchen Delights. It began with one order, moi moi and jollof for a neighbor's birthday. Her cooking spoke for her when her words couldn't. Soon, the aroma of her food drew more customers. She created a WhatsApp business page, posting short videos of her recipes. Orders began pouring in. Delivery bikes came and went. She smiled again. Life has a way of rewarding resilience. One Saturday, while catering for a corporate event, she met Obina. He was tall, with gentle eyes and a quiet charm. A widower in his late 30s, he managed a logistics company that handled deliveries for events. He noticed her from afar, this woman directing her staff confidently, laughing despite the sweat on her brow. Later that evening, he approached her table. "Madam Ketra, your food nearly caused a war in that hall. People are fighting for extra plates." Adara laughed lightly. "Then I'm innocent of the crime. I only cooked." They both chuckled. He ordered 2 takeaway packs and left, but his smile lingered. Over the next few weeks, he kept ordering, always finding a reason to call. "Ah, Adaora, I need 10 lunch packs for my staff." Then the next day, "Actually, make it 15 and maybe include that spicy goat meat you made last time." One afternoon, he came to pick up the order himself, and as they waited for his rider, he asked quietly, "You seem strong, but I sense you've been through something." Adara hesitated, then nodded. "Everyone has their story, Mr. Obina." He smiled softly. Then maybe one day you will trust me enough to tell me yours. Days turned to months. They grew closer, not through gifts or promises, but through small kindnesses. Obina would help her lift heavy pots, fix her generator, and send messages like, "Remember to rest, Adara." He never asked for more than friendship, but his presence became a calm refuge. One evening, while watching the sunset from her balcony, Adara told him everything. The wedding, the betrayal, the humiliation. Tears welled up in her eyes as she spoke. Obina listened without interruption. When she finished, he said quietly, "They took your joy, but not your worth. Real love asks, it doesn't assume. I'm sorry he didn't fight for you."